Hey guys, Brian, SoCal Supermoto. Today we're going to answer whether or not we can go faster with cheap DRZ eBay mods. Hey guys, what's happening? Brian, I had a school bike that I always liked. It was kind of just set up the way I liked it. It wasn't any really high-end mods. It's the bike Christine, and we've had plenty of other videos, so you can check our channel to go check that out. And then just adding to the fleet for the school, we recently got this bike. It was a bone stock DRZ400. It had 400 miles. Basically, it was brand new. And what I found is that I always wanted to ride it. It just felt good having a new bike. I also felt a little down on power. And so the whole theory here was, can we get this bike nearly as fast as like my track prep DRZ bike that I've used for years with cheap eBay mods? It sounded like a good idea. One, because I thought it was interesting. Two, it was cheap and I'm cheap. So there you go. So we basically got some mods, threw them on there, compared lap times before and after, and here's the results. So the quick is, yeah, we got faster by about 2 seconds. I tied my lap record on this bike, set up the way it is today. So, and it's everything went out great. The good thing that was going good is that there's very little track traffic. What was going bad, it was 106 out there, so it was a little greasy. I think I could get another second relatively easy on a cooler day. But let's just go over them. First up, my favorite, because they're big and cheesy and cheap and awesome, is these big blue pegs. I have big feet. I love having big pegs on the bike. They were like 22 bucks shipped. They were a little hard to install because they didn't have a hole for the spring. Dude, they were awesome. And by awesome, I mean, I didn't think about them at all. It felt good. I did think about them a couple times because it make you feel like a hero, because I did drag peg on both sides. I don't typically drag peg, and it's probably because they're just so big. So I don't think it's much comment on my riding. But yeah, those are some, talk about a great cheap mod. All right, next up on the cheap mod is gearing. There's no way to get a bike faster for cheaper than messing with gearing. So many people are messing with pipe and jetting and all that sort of stuff when they'd be a lot faster just getting the right gearing on there. Stock is 1542. I bought a, it's like a 46. I got a 46 rear sprocket on there. It's probably about 45 bucks for that sprocket. Man, that made a big difference. So on the stock bike, it was really fun to wheelie in second gear. Just to give you an idea of the gearing changes, now it would do that in third gear. So it'll now wheelie in third gear. Just good for power all around. Match going with that, we have this very sexy blue chain to match the cheesy blue pegs. And again, just went with the chain because we had that larger rear sprocket. So just to help compensate for that. So there's another cheap mod, probably a $30 eBay chain. So that's the gearing, that's the pegs. Here's my favorite experiment of the cheap stuff. It's the straight from China jet kit. This thing was probably 22 bucks, came with needles and pilot jets and main jets and no instructions whatsoever. Props to Ben, who threw this thing in this morning, and it was great. It's not running lean, it's running nice and rich. It does feel down on power still compared to my other one, which had like E-cams and a E-gasket. But when I say down on power, I'm talking 1-2%, not much at all. And of course, you're gonna make that up with feeling comfortable on the bike and handling and that sort of stuff. Next up, as far as handling goes, this is not a cheap mod. This is a fat bar Renthal, and I'm tall, so I have to have tall bars. So if you are tall, you needed a mod to have taller bars, you can buy $20, $25 bar risers. I would say if you're over 6'1", 6'2", absolutely get a taller bar. Just spring for the fat bar. They're like 80 bucks, but that's probably, I think it's worth the money. You're not gonna have some janky bar that's bending on you and that sort of stuff. The pipe. All right, so here's the deal. This pipe was not a cheap pipe. It's a Yosh, but it's cheap because it's free because we already had it. We just stole it off one of the other school bikes. I promise you, if I bought one of those $150 slip-ons, there would be no difference in power. The main advantage of the pipe is, you know, basically reducing weight, getting a little bit more airflow. So you're not going to convince me that I would have been significantly slower if I had the $150 eBay slip-on versus the Yosh slip-on. So there's that. We have on the front, I have a rotor. I did have this on the before test too, which is like a $70 Chinese, frankly, it's probably a Gaffer ripoff rotor. That thing's great, it's worked awesome. So that's pretty much it. You're basically looking at a stock bike, pipe, jet, pegs, taller bars, and gearing. Of those things, I think gearing probably makes the biggest difference out of it. And end result is, I put all this stuff on, and yeah, I went a solid 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds faster than I did on the Bone stock bike. So can you go faster with cheap eBay parts? Yes. Do you need a bunch of them? Probably not. You probably just need gearing and whatever's gonna make it comfortable for you. That's where the pegs come in. But I would say the gearing made the biggest difference in the jet kit. Surprisingly, worked out great. So yeah, go ahead, play with your DRZ. Go buy some cheap crap off eBay. Affiliate links are below. Just kidding, we don't have any affiliate links ever on anything. But yeah, that's kind of the good thing, is that you can play with the mods for relatively cheap and put a bike together. And this is officially my favorite motorcycle I've ever ridden, period. I don't care. I've ridden faster bikes, I've ridden pro race bikes. This is the bike that I'm going fast enough on and having a really good time. So that's all I pretty much want to ride, this and some minis, and I'm good. All right, thanks so much.